coming up on The Solo Show.
Just the data that you have at your fingertips on your phone, it really makes it hard if you really want to, get the most out of your time and not wait on really long lines. The experience is very different doing it with your phone, kind of glued to your phone to say, all right, well, where's the next shortest line? Let's run over there. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it was a very different experience from the vacations I remember growing up where you just kind of come and you take it as it comes. And it was new for me.
Stan welcomes Christine Dawn and Brian Ang to the guest host's chair as we talk another trip report, adult style. What can you expect when you return to Walt Disney World after 25 years? Is everything the same? Does it meet your expectations? Keep listening to find out more. The Solo Show, as always, is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Realtor Victor Naraki makes living near Walt Disney World a reality, specializing in all the communities surrounding Disney. Whether you're looking to relocate or invest in a new property, maybe you want a vacation home for your retirement. With over a decade of experience in the area, Victor will adapt to your needs, help you find the right property, or get you the best price for your property. Reach out to him today on his website, celebratingflorida.com, or at disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Follow him at Victor Naraki Realtor on Facebook, and don't forget to tell him that the Solo Show sent you.
Let's put on the show.
Mon ami, I am always ready, as you say, to put on the show. My goodness, you're all staring at us. We better start the show rolling.
Broadcasting from... Oh, wait a minute. Different music.
Oh, no!
Broadcasting from the Solo Studios, located inside Disney's secret Cinderella Castle Suite, here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the center of North America, on this little planet we call Earth. This is The Solo Show. On this adventure, Stan pulls out two guest host chairs for the first-time guest hosts Christine Dawn and Brian Ang as they talk about returning to Walt Disney World after an absence of almost 25 years. Is everything the same as they remember? Does it meet their expectations now that they're grown-ups? Stick around to find out, listeners. So now, please welcome your host, a man whose idea of a perfect romantic evening at home is watching Cinderella on Disney Plus with his fuzzy, green, flipper slippers. Here's Stan Solo. Sorry, Marcus. He made me say it.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always. And joining me today, I got two people. I just met them 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. What was it? 8 minutes ago? That much? I don't know. Christine Dawn and her boyfriend, Brian Ang. Guessing you're from California? Brian, where are you from?
Los Angeles, Santa Monica.
And Christine?
I'm 15 minutes away in Marina Del Rey.
Okay, so are you two Disney fans? Would you call yourselves that?
I don't know if I'm like a regular Disney fan, but I definitely, grew up going to Disneyland. I worked for Disney, and so I definitely have an affinity to Disney. Piglet's my favorite character, so I would say I'm a fan in some regards.
Okay. How about you, Brian?
I'm an East Coaster, and I grew up going to Disney World several times. I like Star Wars, but I wouldn't say that I was specifically a Disney fan for this trip.
Before this trip, you weren't. Okay. All righty. So what made you decide to, so we're going to do a trip report. So you two went, how many people were in your group? What was you all went to Disney World. You two went together. Did anyone come with you?
There were 8 of us in total. My parents, my sister and her husband, and their 2 children, ages 3 and 5.
Okay.
So, total.
So 8 of you, all of them from California?
My sister and her family are from outside of Philadelphia. My parents live in New Jersey, the great state of Jersey.
Okay, nice. So this was going to be the big family vacation. We're going to go. When was the last time you were in Walt Disney World? You said you kind of went there as a kid.
For my family altogether, 25 years. So this was a momentous trip, and my parents, who were both in their 80s, definitely wanted to experience Disney with their nieces. So it was really important for us to go now.
Oh, nice. How about you, Christine? When was the last time you were in the Disneyland or Disney World park?
Yeah, over 20 years as well. So this felt all new to me again. I don't remember a lot. So it almost was like a first trip again.
Yeah. So other than the castle, everything's different pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few things that are probably the same. The Contemporary would be still there. The Space Mountain was still there. Right. But yeah, the Magic Kingdom, I mean, is basically almost the same. But everything else is pretty much all new for you too.
Yeah. Definitely the experience is definitely new. I mean, there were certain things I knew, Magic Kingdom's, similar to Disneyland, but just the experience of going there and technology and the apps and everything, that's all completely new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So your mom was the driving force for this vacation? You were saying she wanted to go with the niece and nephews?
My mom and dad. Yep.
Okay.
So we made it happen.
Well, they should be on the show then. What are you doing here?
I know.
I'm just joking.
Door prize.
I'm just joking.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah. So this is what. That was basically, it was her idea, saying let's do this big family trip. We're all going to go there. Oh, that is so good. Where did you stay when you were there?
We stayed at Beach Club, and we had always stayed off property, but I think for this trip, we had a conversation and we all thought it could be really worth it to just do it up, stay on property, be really close to Epcot Beach Club.
Nice. Very nice. And did you go anywhere else besides Disney, or did you just stay in the Disney bubble the whole time? Just
the bubble the entire time, which is 6 nights. 6 nights worth.
Excellent. And the Beach Club is such a beautiful resort too. Yeah,
absolutely.
So the Skylanders are all brand new. Everything was brand new. What were you most excited for going into this trip, Christine?
I think for me it was just because I haven't been in so long, so just experiencing the parks again, and also knowing that the resort was going to be very close to Epcot, so walking distance. So I was curious how that experience would be, because I had never done that before, staying so close to a park. But honestly, really looking forward to just experiencing the parks again. I hadn't, remembered Epcot. And using these magic bands. I never used that before. So just figuring out how that was going to work. And food. I'm a big foodie. So I was curious how, we had planned out and mapped out, certain establishments we definitely wanted to try. So I was eager to see how those lived up to our expectations, though.
Okay. So that was one of the things I was going to ask about, was the magic band. So did you get Magic Band Plus or the regular Magic Band, or what would you do there?
Just the regular Magic Band. Yeah. Yeah.
The Magic Band Plus, it needs to do more, I think, for what you're paying for it. I mean, it's fun and it's cutesy, but yeah, the magic, I don't know, charging it every night. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how about you, Brian? What were you most excited for at this trip going into it?
Like Christine, I think I share the excitement and anticipation about the food, but then really not knowing and even hearing about some of these new rides until 6 months ago. It was the classic attractions, like Spaceship Earth, Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan. It was just kind of going back and experiencing those again and seeing if they were just completely untouched or what had changed.
How did you find it? Do you find it was exactly how you remembered it, or did it feel smaller or bigger?
Ooh, you know what? I won't give away my age, but 25 years ago, as having just graduated college, it did feel smaller, and they did change. Like Spaceship Earth, they added some touchpad things that were not there before. Mm-hmm. I think they added maybe one scene to make it more diverse. But I was surprised at how much was untouched. I'm not sure they touched Peter Pan at all, and I don't think they needed to, for instance.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. You were saying, Christine, you were excited to be able to walk from the Beach Club. Did you realize how long of a walk it was going into this, or it's a walk, it's walkable, but it's a bit of a hike.
But actually, honestly, it was easier than I thought. I going into the trip was thinking, okay, I know Disney World's huge. Mm-hmm. I know they say that you can walk from the resort to Epcot, but I know that's probably going to take forever. So actually, in my mind before I went, I actually thought this isn't going to be as easy as we think it is when it's walkable. But it actually was the opposite for me. I actually, after experiencing it, actually was closer than I thought, and more convenient than I thought to just get in there. So it actually was a nice surprise, to be honest. Yeah.
I know, like, people will not do enough research and they'll go to Port Orleans Riverside and think they can walk to Magic Kingdom. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You're not going to walk to Magic Kingdom from Port Orleans Riverside. Now, Brian, I heard we were talking a bit beforehand, you did a bit of research going into this.
A lot.
Thanks, Christine.
Yeah.
How long ahead of time were you planning this trip?
Oh, this is embarrassing. I believe we booked in March for October.
Okay.
And I knew I would have a busy summer to do work, and I just wanted not to waste any time. So we jumped right in, started making spreadsheets, feeling kind of insecure that I had never been on the planning end of these trips. And this is my first time really taking the lead. So just picking podcasts, reading articles every day, much earlier than needed, like studying, so how does Genie Plus work and what should the strategies be, and reading best practices. So let's just say there's a hole in my life where all of that research was done now that the trip is finished.
Well, and I commend you, because you really do need to research. And people listening to this show may have never gone before. And I'm telling you, I mean, you might not have to do graphs and charts and pie charts and stuff, but it's important to research. It's important to know when you could book your reservations for your dining. It's important to know how Genie Plus works. It's important to know you have to make a reservation for the park each day, because there's people that go and they don't even have a reservation for a single day when they get there. So yeah, it's important to do some research for sure.
No,
Absolutely.
and I want to say all that definitely. I mean, when Brian was doing it, I thought, wow, this is a little overboard. I mean, I even talked to Marla extensively. She had so many tips too, and it's just an overload of information, you feel like. But I will say all of it was worthwhile, because without that, I mean, you're it's a lot of money that's spent on this trip, and so to maximize that value and the time and where you're spending it, I think all the research really paid off. All the tips, everything that we got was super, super helpful.
And it's fun researching.
Yeah.
So did you watch like YouTube videos for the different restaurants and dining plans and stuff like that?
I did.
Okay.
And I have no regrets. Even I guess the way I viewed it was, even if there's just one tidbit I remember from every video or podcast, that could be useful. Like what do you do when it rains? Which quick serve has a lot of seating? Because we had 8 people, and including a 3 and a 5-year-old. Anything that was useful, I don't have any regrets. I think largely a lot of that information really paid off for us.
Right on. So you were talking, Christine, you were saying you were a foodie. So what restaurant did you end up dining at?
Yeah, quite a few. So we had, and Brian, you can fill in if I miss any, but we dined at Rose and Crown, Beaches and Cream, which is at the Beach Club Resort. Rose and Crown is at Epcot.
Yep.
California Grill. Part of our party dined at Tokyo Dining, via Napoli. A lot of Epcot restaurants.
I was going to say, how many days did you go to Epcot?
Yeah. We were there, was it 2.5?
There was more than one park, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we also hit, let's see, Alien Compass at the Yacht Club, the Boathouse at Disney Springs. Let's not leave out Garden. We had 2 character experiences, Garden Grill, again, at Epcot, but also the Crystal Palace, because it was just a consensus that Pooh and friends were the most desired characters to see. So we did that.
Well, you got a girlfriend whose favorite character is Piglet. You got to go to Crystal Palace for breakfast. And that was for breakfast. I'm guessing you did Crystal Palace?
Actually, what we were able to get, even 60 days out, was brunch, and we just rolled with it and said, fine, we'll go for lunch, early lunch.
Oh, nice. Very nice. So of all the places you ate, which one was your favorite?
Ooh.
Christine?
Oh man, that's a tough one. That I all the food was so different, right? So it's hard to say there's a favorite. Generally speaking, I will say going into it, I actually am very impressed with the food options. Again, going into it, I didn't have a lot of high expectations for good food. I thought overpriced and okay food was kind of the expectation I was going into it. Don't have high expectations, but I will say everywhere we went, Rose and Crown, Beach and Cream. Again, Rose and Crown is very specific for the fish and chips, right? Was it great? Yes, really great. Beaches and Cream, kind of a diner ice cream shop. So I would say all of it really lived up to our expectations. Dole Whip, Brian had we had 5 different variations of Dole Whip. That was all, great. So even the snacks, everything. I can't say I have one that really shined, to be honest. Was
there one that you were most excited for going into this?
Oh gosh, California Grill might have been one, because I think I had memories of going to that before, and I wanted to see how it was now and the views and everything. That was probably one I was interested in seeing how that would be or lived up to the expectations. And it was good, although I will say they have a special menu for their 50th anniversary. So it's good. It's one of those where you're paying a little bit more because of the view and the location and things like that. But I just think the variety of options we got, I think it really lived up to our expectations overall. So
very nice. How about you, Brian? Which one were you most excited for? You were the one doing the research. You must have had one that you were pumped for.
I'll take a different tack just to give a diversity of opinion. I'm the kind of person where if we didn't get the reservation and I heard the food was good, such as Beaches and Cream and Rose and Crown, it became a mini obsession for me to just troll, keep on trying to get the reservations. And it became the ones that I had built up in my head because you hear how great the fish and chips are at Rose and Crown. You hear Beaches and Cream is just this, if you're going to stay at Beach Club, you have to do it. And so I think I had built those two up a lot in my mind before going.
Okay.
And that was actually a good tip because we did keep trying because we didn't get some of these in our initial kind of.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think one of the tips from Brian researching is check more frequently because there's cancellations, right? And so we actually were able to book some additional ones leading up very close to actually the trip. So
yeah. Well, I believe that the fish and chips at the Rose and Crown are the exact same fish and chips that's at the Yorkshire fish and chip stand.
I had read differing accounts. A lot of accounts say that, and I'm not, by the way, I didn't go as far as to fact check these. I read at least one account that said quality of the fish is going to be better at the Rose and Crown, and OCD me became fixated on going to it.
All right, on because I love the fish and chips at the Yorkshire chip shop.
They might very well be the same.
Yeah, that's like the best fish and chips I've ever had in my life, and I don't like to eat at the same place twice ever when I go. Like try to try something new every single time, but I've eaten more times there than any other place in all of Walt Disney World. And by the way, the correct answer when somebody asks you what your favorite restaurant is Boathouse. So that's the correct answer. If anybody asks, what was your favorite one? It was Boathouse. How was Boathouse? Was Boathouse good?
Fantastic.
Very good.
Fantastic food.
Yeah.
Were there anything that surprised you? You did all this planning. Is there anything that kind of caught you off guard? You said, I was prepared for the rain. I was prepared with my dining. We had Genie Plus figured out. Is there anything that you're like, well, I wasn't expecting that to happen?
The experience, and I know I'm going to compare it to 25 years ago, where you could still kind of show up and get a sense, this looks like a long line. Maybe we can try elsewhere. Just the data that you have at your fingertips on your phone, it really makes it hard if you really want to, get the most out of your time and not wait on really long lines. The experience is very different doing it with your phone and being kind of glued to your phone to say, all right, well, where's the next shortest line? Let's run over there. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it was a very different experience from the vacations I remember growing up where you just kind of come and you take it as it comes. And now I'm sure there were professional Disney people, even 25 years ago, mapping it out and having more data, but it was new for me.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. That's really good. I mean, I very much am opposed to this reservation system and planning so far ahead and stuff like that. Because like when I go, I get quick service restaurants and I would get on the bus that has the shortest line that morning. And that's what park I'd go to back in the day. Yeah, that's how I used to do it. And the only way I would make any fast passes ahead or anything like that is if, like, say I was meeting somebody like your cousin Marla at Epcot. And I'd say, okay, well, I'm going to Epcot that day, so I'll make fast passes for that day. But other than that, I would just do whatever. And I'm not a huge fan of this over pre-planning that we are kind of doing now. How did you find Genie Plus work for you,
Christine?
I mean, I think it worked great, but I think to Brian's point, it does require you to really be on it and be on your phone and monitor the times and know when you can next book your next Genie Plus. So again, I think the experience is different now because if you're going to get it, you really have to kind of be on top of that. And sometimes you're almost on your phone constantly on the park, right? Monitoring that, and refreshing that. But I will say, I think our experience was good. I mean, we got on, I think, the rides for the most part that we wanted to book via Genie Plus. We woke up every morning. Brian has a contradictory statement.
Not necessarily contradictory, but just to turn about as fair play. Stan, we had a freak out at 7:01 one morning when Christine thought that she made a terrible blunder making our first reservation of the day and then realizing she only made the reservation for herself anyway, so it wasn't.
And for the wrong ride, right?
For the wrong ride.
Yeah.
I think
I did have a panic attack one morning that I booked the wrong ride and not for the entire party and thinking our window is gone for the ride we wanted, but it was rectified. So that was a nice surprise in terms of being able to cancel it and book something new. So.
Yeah, because you can cancel if you have one booked.
Yeah.
So Christine, were you in charge of the making the reservations every 2 hours, or how
Oh, no. I mean, this was definitely Brian pretty much took the lead on doing that, but I was sort of his, sidekick in checking and alerting, hey, it's up, this is available. So we kind of partnered together on that.
Yeah.
But I will say, from my experience, Genie Plus, I think for me, I don't like to wait in lines, and I think that would have made the experience a little different if we had to wait hours for all our rides. So that did make the experience, I think, being in the park a little more enjoyable. So you're not feeling so tired out just having to wait in long lines. So I think that was a big plus for the Genie Plus.
I will say that about Genie Plus is that you do not wait if you purchase Genie Plus, you definitely do not wait in line nearly as long as if you don't have Genie Plus. If rides is what you want to do, and that's what your goal is, to get as many rides as you can in a day, you're not going to be waiting, and you're going to get more rides with the Genie Plus, I would say.
We might not have leaned so heavily on it, but with a 3 and a 5-year-old, and my parents, I guess the way I saw it was, if this is what it costs to like shave an hour off of like having all those people stand and wait and potentially melt down, totally worth it. And I'm glad. On the other hand, I was grateful for the option to do that, to like make it more comfortable for our family.
Yeah, for sure. But Disney made some money off of you. What is it, $15 a day per person?
And the price went up while we were down there, for sure. Yeah. Price increase.
Yeah, you made Disney happy as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So you mentioned the magic bands. Which magic bands did you get? Did you get them there? Or did you pre-order them?
We pre-ordered them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way to do
simple, it. Just, colored bands, nothing fancy. For us, it wasn't so much a, fashion thing, or we just needed the functionality and the ease and convenience of not maybe having to carry a separate key card, pull it out, or pull out our phone to check in. It was, just served a purpose and a function.
So are you glad you got the magic bands, or would you been just as happy pulling out the keypad or the key card? What do you think?
I think we were all glad we got magic bands, and especially my 3 and 5-year-old who could felt they could be a part of it. And like, it feels very important to like check in and, hey, we're just registered, and it's inclusive in a way, and it makes everyone feel, oh, I get to do this. I have a responsibility.
That's a great point. I never even considered that, but for sure, especially for like a 5-year-old, I could totally see that. That is great. So when are you going again? Are you planning your your next trip now, or what's happening here? Would you go again? Would you go again with a big of a group? And when you went as the group, did you split off into separate groups and then meet up for dinner, or did you stick together the whole time, every day, all day?
The answer is both. I think generally speaking, we tried to stick together during the days. And because of the 3 and the 5-year-old, I think my sister came up with an idea that just said, each couple will babysit the girls one night, and that gives a double date opportunity for the others, and everyone takes a turn. So every combination of adults gets a double date dinner. And we tried to just roll with it and do lunches together as we could at quick serve. But it was something of everything. And inevitably, when we have those tired days and everyone just wants to sit in their own hotel room and get quick serve and get a hot dog from the marketplace, we could just do that. So we kind of did everything.
Yeah,
that's the
and
way
I
to do
think
it.
There were times when people were tired, the kids were tired by the early afternoon. They would just go back, and Brian and I would maybe stay. And a couple times we did the late night, so we took advantage of that. So it was a good combination of both. I think it was very flexible.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it if you're doing a trip with a larger group, especially with different age groups like that. I mean, you have a 3-year-old to an 80-year-old in your group. I mean, they can't all be on the same schedule. It doesn't work. And so to have all 8 of you stick together all day, every day, you're just asking for a meltdown from somebody. And chances are it's going to be you. That's I'm not looking at either one of you in particular, but it's going to be you that has it. Okay, so I was saying about going again. Now, how often do you go to Disneyland? You say you live in the Los Angeles area. Do you go? Yeah, you don't have annual passes, I'm guessing, or magic keys they call them now. How do you go often? Or is this going to become a more often thing now, Disneyland?
I mean, I will say for me, I haven't been to Disneyland actually even maybe in over 10 years, having even living here. But I will say this trip has sparked a renewed sort of interest, to be honest. It hasn't gone the other way where it's like, oh, I'm Disneyed out for another, decade. I know I'm good. For me personally, I think it sparked a renewed interest in, oh, this is fun. Disneyland is fun, so.
Yeah, so you're not going to wait another 25 years?
It will motivate me to maybe go again sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So you're not going to wait another 25 years for this. You're going to
Yes.
want to visit at least
Right.
Disneyland or something. How about you, Brian?
Well, I was going to say, I think for the good of the group, we didn't go to Hollywood Studios when we were in Orlando,
Wow.
which means one ride that we definitely missed was Rise of the Rebellion. And now
You started off the show by saying, I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan, and then you don't even go to Hollywood Studios? Come on, Christine. You got to help them out here.
But
That's on our list. That's
It's
on our list. I
now.
did buy a Grogu, a small little Grogu. So that's my tribute to.
But that's not Star Wars.
Well,
Oh, no, Grogu. Sorry, I'm thinking Baby Groot. I think
Baby Grogu, not Groot.
Yeah.
Baby Grogu.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Brian, I cut you off.
No. I think we're much more open to going down to Disneyland and experiencing all that there is to offer there, including Dole Whip, which I'd never had before this trip.
Right on. And you'll be able to see Galaxy's Edge because it's right in Disneyland. You don't have to make a special trip to Hollywood Studios for it. Animal Kingdom would have been brand new for you. Did you visit Animal Kingdom?
We did. Yep.
And did you get on the Banshee, the Flight of Passage?
No, that was one that we unfortunately missed the window to be able to get onto. I think that one was a lightning lane one, so we missed the window to be able to get on that one. But we went on the Safari, Everest. Trying to think if there were
Navi River.
Yeah, the river one.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
But yeah, one regret is not getting on.
Well, sorry to open up old ruins here. So now you got to go back for sure. I mean, you can go see Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, but you're not going to do Flight of Passage at Disneyland. You gotta Well, Disneyland would be a lot different for you too, because I guess Cars Land has opened now since you were there last at California Adventure. And
a lot of
okay. All righty. Yeah. Any final things you want to mention or talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I just think it was a great experience, and I do think, just reiterate, the planning does help for sure. I mean, it takes a lot of time, but there's a lot of resources out there now at everyone's disposal. It's just wading through it, but it really does help make the trip be a much more seamless experience and really feeling like you're maximizing your time. So I applaud Brian for all the research and time and devotion he's done. So now if we go back, it's not as intimidating. We have half the research already done. So no, that was great.
And you were like walking distance to Hollywood Studios too. Like, what the heck? You're at the beach club. You could have just walked there.
Next time.
We had to see Frozen again for the girls.
Yeah.
So no regrets. I would just add to Christine, it's like even above, at least for me, because I really, I suppose, took it upon myself to immerse myself in all of that. Even beyond the tips, it enhanced my enjoyment of the trip to kind of know more of the history and the context and what was going on. And so it really kind of made it a 3D experience for me, so to speak, to get the whole flavor of it even before I set foot on the plane. And the tips were definitely, I think, priceless, but also just almost to get me in the right mindset to go back. So I don't regret a minute of doing any of that research.
Very good. Very good. Well, that's how I was. I mean, our first trip, I went as an adult. My daughter was 15 when it was just her and I that went. We went in August, last week of August, our first time.
Brave.
And it was the last week of August. It was September. It was September because the Halloween decorations were just starting to go up. But I started planning in January, and it was just YouTube videos and buying books, and there was research like crazy. Just that's all I did all the time. My wife was like, "I'm sick of hearing about Disney. You haven't even gone yet." And I got home, I put the suitcases down, picked up the phone, and booked it for the following year. I didn't even unpack. That was how I did it the first time. Well, I want to thank you two for coming on. This is a lot of fun. You two were great. We're great guests. A lot of great information, a lot of great tips for people that haven't gone. And if you are planning a trip to Walt Disney World and you'd like to be on the solo show, send me a message. We'll get you on. Let me know before you go, and we'll have you on before and after type show. This was great. A lot of fun, you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stan.
Okay, Ken, take it away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. tell us your idea for the show, and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. All logos, sounds, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned solely by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be, the ownership of The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.